my boyka. What up, bienvenido, welcome. I'm gonna attempt to go live because remember I got this 2-year-old here, which is a pain in the butt. Oh my God, okay, baby, all right. So I'm just gonna try to attempt, like I'm saying, to the beginning of next month. I got her to the beginning of next month, and then something has to be done because I have a lot of things that I have to, get with. Hey, to get on camera here. Yeah, so it's in the morning. What time is it here? It's already 9:18. I have to get up every morning like 6:30 or 7. Feed this young baby here. She's gonna put on her headphones. I got her some nice headphones, but she messed up her headphones. Hey, show everybody your headphones. See, she showed everybody her headphones. I got her some nice Coco Melon headphones, and she just messed it up. Anyway, I just wanted to get up on here. Mourning Notes. It seems like it's gonna be a beautiful day, but as we are experiencing a heat wave, we experience heat waves throughout the states. You know what I'm saying? A little later on, I am going to be in class, the ambassador training with the Empress of Sheba and the African Royal Kingdom Federation. And we do this Mondays. We have the summit, and I'm going to speak more a little bit on that, the summit. And then on Wednesdays, we have our classes, ambassador training and TFO training. Very, very important because, again, there's a lot of protocols, rules, regulations, and protocols that has to be followed when you are addressing certain kingdoms and queendoms and empires. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say empire from now on, empress, because, people out there just they don't get it. Time change and words actually change their connotation to be, really changes connotation. So people look at kingdom, and they spell it King and DUM. They have all this rhetoric and this speculative and rhetoric, but not and that's deception, because it deceives you and deceives you from the true core of what the person is trying to say. You know what I'm saying? So be careful of that. And with that being said, yesterday I was listening into the CMYE, the Emperor Khufu, of the Emperor of the Wichita, and the Yamasi here in the United States, and I find it very kind of interesting. And I even asked him questions. Is he aware of the African Union? Not the African Union. Everybody's aware of the African Union, but is he aware of the Federation of the South, the FOS, and the Imperial House Foundations, and is he aware of the Queendom or the Empire of the South? You know what I'm saying? And all those all those chiefs and all those rulers, all those clans and families. And I guess he said yes, he is. But then he made a statement of saying that there's only 3 recognized. Put it on. There's only 3 recognized. There you go. Beautiful. That's a nice one. He says there's only 3 recognized, but he says kings in Africa. Only 3. He mentioned one Morocco. He mentioned 2 other ones. That's all. But I'm like, sovereign kingships. And I was like, well, yeah, what is this? Everybody wants to walk around with a stick. And it's like, el que caga y me ama, we say in Spanish, the one who pisses or defecates the most. You know what I'm saying? Always want to be sovereign, this, sovereign, that. And you're not recognized in the world, for real. You're not true. Man. It's like this competition, this conflict, this competition. And I said to myself, listen, that's all nice and dandy, and that's all speculative, and that's all rhetoric, and this and that. But what are sciences, or what are you doing to contribute to the betterment of your society, your culture, your family, your humanity? What are you doing? I mean, you talk about these people in the United Nations, you talk about all these nations getting together, and you talk about the Illuminati and this and that, and these people are evil, and they're not the real sovereign rulers. But you know something? They rolling out initiatives, and they doing stuff with the institutions, the education, and they're doing much more than what you're doing. All you're doing is arguing back and forth, and who's got the best paperwork. Excuse me, like I said. Yeah, put on your thing. Oh, that's all you're doing? That's all you're doing? You're carrying a stick, and all you want to do is like, oh, you're causing separatism. That's what I'm saying. We have to be very, very careful in today's day and time, man. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. So you go, you're the sovereign dishes, but what are you doing to better humanity? Better social betterment. What are you doing? I don't care. You call yourself a queen, a king, an emperor, whatever you call yourself, it doesn't mean a crap to me if you're not contributing or using that authority that you're claiming to better humanity, social betterment. At least I learned from Panda Yananin, right? And he never called himself any of those names, but he did what he needed to do to better society. Build university, created opportunities to put people together, have land, you know what I'm saying? Farming. There's so many things that I've learned being with this man, and then yet you talk bad about him, or you push him to the side, and now you want to be, and not only for him. I'm talking about for anybody out there, you know, like this Patah new guy got on the chat and was ridiculous. What are you doing to better? And you talk about freeing the master teacher. Well, let me tell you something, okay? When you contribute and you better humanity, and you show as a student of the master teacher, okay, that he raised you and from the mental debt, and he raised you and taught you well. You are an example of him. That's how you're going to free him. When the world knows and says, wow, this is what you're doing? Who taught you that? And this man who you have in prison taught us how to contribute to humanity, and taught us how to be honest and integrity, and taught us how to contribute. Taught us about how to better our conditions. Okay, that's how you're going to free him. That's how. That's called PR work, public relations for the betterment of society. Not that other bullshit that they use for the derogatory. So, you know what I'm saying? To better society, better your community. What are you doing? All you're doing is talking about putting in paperwork and copyright claims and this and that, and your guys are not real, and they're fighting against each other. Stop it. That's what I said. There's a lot of work that's being done, and I'm so grateful for the training I'm receiving, because yes, I would love to be throughout Africa and rolling out initiative and having the backing of an empire and having the backing of people, of collective people that says, well, we're going to put our funds, we're going to put our energy into this project to better this community, to better this tribal life. You know what I'm saying? To better all of Africa, and then from Africa to better all of humanity in all of the continents. We have to live by example. So to free the master teacher, all right? Well, free the master teacher. Well, who's going to free him? His best students, the best example out there is going to free him. Like he said, Papaut, the expansion is the doorway to the key. Let me see, do I have it here? The doorway to the key, and I don't have it. That's the master key. But the door to the doorway to Payananin is Papaut, expansion. And the doorway to Papaut, the way you expand is through Ashuk, unconditional caring. But you gotta be that example. This thing about talking about sovereignty, and I got the biggest stick, and I'm the sovereign one, and I could copyright. Wow. That's all paperwork and speculative. That's all that is. What are you going to do with that? That's why I asked the questions in the chat. Are you going to train ambassadors? Now that you claim you're an empire, you're sovereign, are you going to have ambassadors? Because then the next following question, depending on the answer, would have been like, well, where are you going to, these ambassadors, where are they going to go? What are they going to be, what initiative they're going to roll out to humanity? What? Let's work on that. You want to claim, or then you sign up for the federation, whatever. Because that's a true federation. That's a my federation today's day and time. It's called the African Kingdom Federation. All right, baby. I know. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to stay on too long. Try to make it up the 15-minute mark. But these are my morning notes. I thought about it because, again, last night I got into the chat and I viewed it, and I found it very interesting, how the paperwork. But then I said, wait a minute. All this that you're doing, and you copyright claim, and you're claiming these flags. Well, nobody now you're gonna stop anybody for using it, and all this stuff. How is this gonna benefit your society, and how's it gonna benefit humanity? Because it's gotta benefit humanity. Because if you're not benefiting the whole of humanity, and you're just trying to separate yourself from all of humanity, then you're gonna leave yourself open for the anti-sociable or the other part of humanity to overcome you or overwhelm you. See how growth is? Think about it. Just something to consider. So as a crown ambassador, an African royal kingdom crown ambassador, that's our training. When you go on the site, we have certain lounges and certain sites that we go to, social sites we go into, and we look at humanity as a whole. Damn, I can't even exercise my treadmill there because this girl is crazy. Oh God. So, to better, we speak about this, and at least we're creating this affinity, this likeness, and we're discussing these things so that when the funds are there available and the initiative is rolling out, we know we already have our focus and our aim, and we know what we want to do. And stop all that. Oh, but the United Illuminati and the evil people. Well, we had an opportunity to create our own United Nations of many people here in the Americas, right? And Wahani over there in Tamaray in Eastern Georgia. And we screwed that up. And not we, because I don't even put myself involved in that shit. But I mean, that was an inside job that took it down. Did. Think about it. We do it to ourselves. Why? Because our minds ain't right. You know what I'm saying? We haven't reached that transcendental mind, that mind of the stars. That's the reason why we're at the Will Sabbat, to give you that affinity for the star constellations. And again, that transcendental mind, that cluster, that reservoir of stars. Because when you go up there to the stars and you look down on Earth, you don't see color. You don't see races. You don't see any of that. You see the Earth as a being, as an entity. And then you see it expanding and contraction. It breathes. It breathes. That's what they ain't telling you that. It warps. It breathes. There's vibration. The Earth breathes also. The sun, with its permanent breathe. Everything is on the pulse. We call it pulsar, pulsation. So when you look at it from there, you're looking down, you don't see this stuff. We're just so contracted. We've been taught to be so contracted that we're not reaching that level. And you could. It's not a kumbaya moment because there's a lot of work to be done. So it's not a kumbaya moment. But at least think about it, consider it, and move towards that. Postulate that, create that, move towards that. You know what I'm saying? Move towards it. And if you want to do all this paperwork and copyright claim, all of that, then you got to look at yourself and say, well, what's the end goal to this? You're achieving this certain type of of paperwork and this and that, and putting all these claims or whatever and sovereignty. What's the end goal to that? How's it gonna benefit you? That's what they call that the touchstone of positivity, right? Is that you look at something, you touch it, you look at it and say, how's this gonna benefit me, a family, or humanity as a whole? If it doesn't benefit, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Throw it out. It's not for you. It's no good. Okay? So those are my morning notes. I mean, those are my uploads. And I'm gonna try to get up in the morning and do this when time permits, and with this little thing here permits me to do it, because she's all over me, man. Every day, this girl's all over me. She don't let me breathe. But anyway, I got a class today. Anyway, in the class, on the summit, there's a series going on right now about food security. You know what I'm saying? In the class, we're talking about protocols, certain protocols. We're learning certain protocols when it comes to addressing our Empress of Sheba. At the same time, as we get those protocol changes to different kingdoms, she explained to us about how those protocols can change. Like when you go to Saudi Arabia, among these chefs and these kings in Saudi Arabia, when they eat, after they're eating, they barf in front of themselves. That shows that you enjoy your food. You enjoy the food. Oh man, this girl. All right. Anyway, let me go. Leave that alone. No. She wants a bottle. Anyway, okay. Well, anyway, peace and blessings to y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be in touch. Peace.